both move that way because the
No, that one doesn't.
the camera picture looks awful. Scoot around here.
Is that better?
Right, this way. Forward. Round.
Hey, you just have to go that way or this way?
Go, go.
All right, welcome to Enemies Velodrome for, I think, round 4 of the AMV Track Championships, incorporating tonight the Queensland State Champs for the individual pursuit, the time trial and the sprint events. I've got with me the head of events for AusCycling, Louise Jones, 10-time British national champion, 2-time Olympian at Seoul and Barcelona, first ever gold medal winner for a female cyclist at the Auckland Commonwealth Games, and all around super supporter of track cycling and junior development. Thanks for coming and having a chat with us this afternoon.
Thanks, Adrian. You did miss out first gold medalist for Welsh cycling in the Commonwealth Games, but I always like to have the last word, as you know. But head of track events. What's really good is we've now brought Olivia into Queensland, which frees me up a little bit to concentrate more on the track side of things.
Perfect. I remember the first time we met, it was out at the outdoor at Chandler, and you told me off then as well, so nothing changes too much. We're going to have a quick chat tonight. I know you've got to get down and do timing tonight. Let's have a quick chat about new regulations that have come in. Some have been implemented, the under 15 moving up to a maximum 7-metre rollout. Some haven't been implemented. You've got them on hold, like the handlebar width. Can you just give us a quick run through of what the important changes are and maybe why some of them have come in halfway through track season?
Yes, well, the handlebar width is on hold because UCI are bringing it from the 1st of January 2027. So we've got a little while to go for that, although we already have that rule in place for our junior riders. The gear restriction is very complicated, a lot more so on the road than the track, with the availability of equipment, especially in Australia. We're on the other side of the world to where most other people are, and trying to source equipment has become very difficult. We've had lots of consultation with coaches on how they want riders to come through the pathway and what sort of gearing they see them being on as well. We looked at what all the other countries around the world are doing. The bigger countries like GB, Germany, Holland, especially around the sprint side of it. Some of the smaller nations, USA, where cycling isn't that popular. And we're in the ballpark with them. Moving the gear restriction during track season is a funny one. We run the track season out of sync with the rest of the world.
Yes,
so again, everywhere else in the world, the track season is calendar year, 1st of January to 31st of December. So whenever it came in, it was going to cause a little bit of consternation and getting used to, and I just bit the bullet. We're going to do it. It was agreed we were going to do it, so we brought it in. It was still 4.5 months away from track national championships. We haven't changed any of the qualifying times. We're not disadvantaging anyone. At this age, the biggest riders always win when it's pure speed. When his craft comes into it in the bunch racing, it's a different thing. So we'll still see some of the smaller riders being able to race properly, having fun, enjoying themselves, and putting it to some of the bigger riders.
I hope so, and it is definitely a maximum gear rollout, so riders don't have to go. And if you talk to any of the riders around, yourself included, you weren't riding massive gears back in the day, so we don't need to rush to go full on at the moment. Now, as I said, we're at round 4 of the Enemies Track Series. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd round of state champs, and we've still got 2 to go, so it's spread out over 5 weekends. Is there'd be a reason behind having it spread out over a couple of weekends rather than having it for 5 or 6 days in a row here at Enemies Velodrome?
There is lots of reasons. The main one is financial. When we run a championship week, Sleemans and the Stadiums Queensland treat it like a swimming event and charge us in the same portion. So keeping it in with the Animeers series has meant we can keep the entry fees at $35. I think it's 60 or 55 if you ride the 2 days.
Yep.
Bit of a discount if you ride the third day. We can keep the entry fees at that rate, and just about break even. Like, we're not in it to make a profit. We're here to give the riders a good, fun time racing, utilise the facility. To run the championship separately, we have to have a separate block for either Masters and Juniors together, or Juniors and Elites together, or Masters and Elites together. And it's 2 blocks, and just was not financially viable. So someone came up with the idea of just splitting the bunch racing away from the timed events, and it seems to be quite successful. I think we've got 158 riders registered this weekend.
Yeah, it's an absolutely stacked list this weekend. I just had a quick look on the list before. Yeah, 150 or 160. So that's a good weekend of racing. Would you ever consider holding state champs at somewhere like the Bundy Cup or Mackay or Cairns and spread it around regionally, kind of like what we do with the road state championships?
Yes, for bunch racing, there's no reason why it can't be at other tracks. Obviously, for the timed events, everyone wants to set a good time. We should have those here at Animeers venue. But for bunch race, if the clubs want to host, they're very welcome to apply to host. I'll add Olivia into this conversation because she's now the Queensland lead for road and track, but she's well trained and is running this meeting on her own this weekend, without much input from myself and the rest of the team. So, yeah, if a host club wants to put on scratch race, points race, elimination, Omnium or Madison, more than welcome to put a bid in to host it and cover the costs of that event. Yeah. That would be wonderful.
So that's a big shout out to you, Katie Davis at Bundaberg. A good opportunity to get some more numbers up at the track. Now, Bundaberg do have a great outdoor track. As a family, we were really lucky to go down to the Christmas carnivals in Victoria over the Christmas break. Lots of outdoor tracks there, lots of junior riders. I think in the under-13s, we had about 18 under-13 boys turn up to the 3 days. Now, this might seem controversial, but I promise you it's not. Animeers, beautiful velodrome, world-class facility. We shut down the outdoor at Chandler. Do you think there's...
Chandler, the club stopped using Chandler, unfortunately. Balmoral kept using it for a time. I stepped away because I had other priorities within my work role, and those sessions died. Everyone else had already stopped using the velodrome. When it was announced it was going to close, big outcry, but unfortunately it was too late. We had no data to go to the minister with to show that it would be worth keeping, but I would have loved to have kept it open, keep those sessions going. You can do so much more with a mixed group of riders, young juniors on the track at the same time as elites, all in a safe environment, whereas on AMV, safety has to be a priority and you can't mix different abilities.
So is it too late for the outdoor? Could we get a campaign together to get it reopened, or is that ship sailed already?
Unfortunately, it's been condemned, so it is too late.
Yeah.
Back in 2016, when Animeers Velodrome opened, and apart from Balmoral, every other club walked away from the outdoor, and it was a start of losing it then, unfortunately. It's a lovely little track in Caboolture, not far from where we live, Adrian.
Yep.
But again, there hasn't been any maintenance there for many, many years, and you couldn't hold an event there any longer.
No, 100% agree. There's some big potholes at Caboolture, that's for sure. But so the message there is use it or lose it, really. So we tried to do a track event down the Gold Coast in early December. There weren't a lot of numbers, so that one got cancelled. So I guess the message there is also if we're going to keep racing, we need to support those events, the Bundy Cup, the Mackay, Cairns, any races at Nerang. Now, I know you've got to get down for timing. Can I ask you one quick one more quick question. Animes Velodrome, it's going to be used for the Olympics and in 2032 and the Masters in 2030. Will you still be around during that time? And is there any maintenance or anything we need to do at Animes before those two big events come to town?
Well, 2030, not only do we have Masters World Championships, we have Elite World Championships, Para World Championships and Junior World Championships, along with the Masters World Championships, all in a 35-day block. That will be the end of my working career. I am going to walk out the door
That's it.
at the end of that event, hopefully very satisfied with the big show that we've been able to put on. As for the Olympics, I'm sure I'll be involved somewhere. Otherwise, I might find myself in the VIP area.
Perfect, great answer. Thanks very much to Louise Jones and of course to Olivia Forrest, who's running the event tonight. We might catch up again later on in the AMV track series and maybe talk upcoming road, maybe on the last event, and we can see what's going on for the rest of the year in the road calendar.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. Always a pleasure to talk and to see all the volunteers here again tonight, doing a fantastic job to assist us with the racing.
Thank you again. So thanks very much to Louise Jones for popping in to have a quick interview with us. We'll catch up with Louise over the next couple of rounds. Stand by for racing. We've got about 3 minutes to go. We'll see you shortly.
Good stuff, mate. That's good.
State Championships for the timed events. Tonight we are all about the time trial, ranging from 500 metres to the 1,000. So a lot of action for our juniors tonight, our under 9s, 11s and 13s, all the way through to our Masters and Elites. Got a big night of racing. Tomorrow we will start hitting our individual pursuit and sprints. An interview on the live stream with Louise Jones, head of track events here at AusCycling in Queensland. Great little interview, some good insights. Louise was gracious enough to let me ask her a few questions about what's going on. We'll catch up with her again later on in the series, but be sure to check out the AusCycling YouTube page for that interview with Louise. We'll be up and racing in a couple of minutes' time. All right, welcome back to Animere's Velodrome. We are about to kick off racing, starting with our under 9 boys and girls for their 500 metres time trial. As it is timed events all weekend, riders, can you please keep an eye on the schedule so you know when you're up? Here we go, first out of the blocks, Rowan Stevens from the Clarence Valley BMX Club. He's our lone under 9 boy as he sets off on his 500 metres. Looks like as he heads around turn 1 and 2, Rowan will be the only under 9 boy out there tonight. As he heads down the back straight, gets out of the saddle, into turn 3 and 4. So 2 laps for our juniors all the way through, I think, until under 17 still do 500 metres as well. So Rowan now into his second lap. Starting to build some confidence by the look of him as he comes around turn 2. He's out of the saddle now. Looks way more confident on the second lap as he heads into turn 3. Rowan Stevens from the Clarence Valley BMX Club. You can hear the shouts from the infield and the crowd as he heads down the front straight. Rowan comes towards the line. He stops. Stops the clock. I didn't quite catch that time. Next up on track, and we'll have both sides of the track this time around. We'll have Charlotte Urry from the Balmoral Cycling Club and Freya Kumaru from the Gold Coast Cycling Club. This looks like it might be Charlotte Urry here on the front straight. Freya out on the back straight. Big thanks to Zane Cunnington and Simon Dixon for being the holders. So just a minor glitch with the countdown clock. We're back in business now thanks to Neil Hamey. We're off and racing for our under 9 girls. Freya from the Gold Coast off to a flyer off the back straight. Charlotte Urry off to a very cautious straight start as she heads around turn 1, but Freya from the Gold Coast absolutely flying along on this 20-inch green frog. She's done half a lap. Charlotte Urry now, she's done half a lap. Freya from the Gold Coast, she will get the bell. 1 lap complete now. Absolutely flying along that back straight. Charlotte Urry now, she comes into the front straight. This will be the completion of her first lap. She gets the bell. Charlotte Urry into her final lap as Freya, she comes into the front straight. She's got half a lap to go now. She can see Charlotte Urry going around turn 1. Great speed from these under 9 girls. Half a lap to go now for Charlotte. as Freya Kamaru comes through. She'll stop the clock at a 106.676. Charlotte Urry stopping the clock in a 116.151. So great work there from our under-9 girls. As we head now into our combined under-11 boys and girls. On the front straight will be Emily Dixon from the Gold Coast. On the back straight from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Austin Tompkinson. So Tompkinson off to a great start. Looks like he's been practicing some gates in his spare time. Emily Dixon, now she's getting up to speed, heading into turn 1. But Tompkinson really got out of the holder's hands very quickly. Half a lap done for Emily. There's only about half a second between them as they make their way around for their second half of the first lap. And Dixon looks like she's started to pick up some speed. It's still Tompkinson just by a bike length as they both enter their last lap. Dixon now around 1 and 2, Tompkinson around 3 and 4. Tompkinson looks across the track. They're about even Stevens. There's half a wheel length in it between them. Tompkinson's really going to have to go now to hold his lead. Dixon only needs to find half a wheel length. Tompkinson comes across the line. He'll take the win just over Emily Dixon. Next up on track, on the front straight, all the way from Bundaberg Cycling Club. He's become a bit of a fixture here at Animere's Velodrome, Mr. Milan Klein. And on the back straight from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington. So we're off and running. Milan Klein got that aero helmet on tonight. He wants to go fast. Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington, he's equally as impressive off the start gate. Milan winding it up. He's got about two bike wheels, I think, over Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington. I was going to say 2 bike lengths, but I don't think it is, as they both come around to complete their first lap. Maybe a bike length now to Milan Klein. He's got down nice and aero as he heads around turn 1 and 2. Whitfield, he's coming around 3 and 4. Might need a bit of encouragement. Klein now, he's gone to about 3 lengths in front of Whitfield, Henderson, Cunnington. As Milan Klein, he comes into the front straight. Milan will take the win in a time of 49.292. Rowan Fox. Out of the gates well. Sonny might have just had the upper hand on that one. Both boys very avid participants at the Gold Coast training down at Nerang. You'll often see them there on a Thursday afternoon before the 100 lapper. But Morfitt looks across the track. He's got a couple of bike lengths over Foxy as he starts to wind it up. Morfitt, though, he's got the bit between the teeth. He's got about 20 metres over Rowan Fox. Fox looks over his shoulder. He just needs to look ahead. As now Sonny Morfitt down the back straight. He comes across the line for half a lap to go. Fox looks across again. He's got half a lap to go. Out of the saddle for Fox. He's trying to make up ground. I think, though, Sonny Morfitt will have this one as he comes across the line in a 48.693. And a 50.663 for Rowan Fox. So Morfitt just pipping Milan Klein. Moving on to our under 13s. No messing around tonight. First up on the back straight from the Cairns Cycling Club is Charlie Rue. In the front straight from the Bundaberg Cycling Club, Imogen Kemps. So good start out of the gates by Kemps. Really hustling to get on top of that gear. As she flies around turn 1 and 2, down in the front straight comes Charlie Rue from Cairns. She's starting to move along now as well. These are our under 13s. Kemps, though, absolutely flying. Her first lap done in a 23.385. Rue across the line in a 25.921. Kemps absolutely pushing it to the limit. Half a lap to go now for Kemps. Half a lap now to go for Rue. As Kemps comes into the front straight, she'll stop the clock and set the time to beat. Imogen Kemps with a 43.557. And a 47.865 for Charlie Rue. So Kemps with the time to beat. Next out, we've got a bit of a mix. We've got the super rocket from Balmoral, Evie Rose, Henderson Cunnington. She's on the back straight. So she'll be chasing the time of Imogen Kemps. On the front straight for the boys will be our first under 13 male. That'll be Oakland Marwood from the Mackay Cycling Club. He's also kitted out in a aero helmet tonight. Good start there from Evie Rose on the back straight. Marwood starting to get on top of his gear as well as they head around their respective turns. So Evie Rose, she'll be aiming to beat the time of Kemps, the 43.557. Marwood looking to set the time for the boys. Evie Rose absolutely flying down the back straight. She wants to try and get in front of Imogen Kemps. She's in second place at the moment as Evie Rose is going to need an absolute flyer on this. Half a lap to go. Half a lap now for Evie, and she goes into the lead for the under 13 girls. Evie Rose around turn 1 and 2. Into the back straight. She'll finish off with the clock, trying to beat Imogen Kemps, and she does with a 43.016. Oakland Marwood seeing the time for the boys with a 46.289. Evie Rose just getting the better of Imogen Kemps by half a second. Next out on track and trying to beat the time of Oakland Marwood, a 46.289. On the front straight from Hamilton Wheelers, Edson Arthur. On the back straight from the University of Queensland, Judd Larkins. So time to beat, 46.289. So both riders out of the gates well as they start their 500 metres. Both out of the saddles. Edson Arthur down the back straight. Larkins still with that fastest time so far as he heads around 3 and 4 as he stops the clock with a 41.551. Good time from Larkins and a 46.836 from Arthur. So Larkins setting the fastest time, followed by Marwood and Arthur. For the girls, that would be Evie Rose, followed by Imogen Kemps and Charlie Rue. So good work there from our under-13s. As we move into the under-15s and we start to use the gates, so first up will be Isla Tompkinson from Balmoral. We saw her younger brother Austin earlier on. Now it's Isla's turn. Isla fairly new to track racing and cycling in general, having started at Jets on a Monday night. Great training ground for our young athletes from under 13 up to under 19s. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you have a look on the AusCycling Queensland Facebook page. Entries are open for Term 1. For under 13s, that'll be road training out at Muzz. For our under 15s and under 17s who are on the state track team, you will be here at Anna Meares. Good start out of the gates for Isla Tompkinson as she sets out to set the time for our under 15 women. Not a bad start from Isla. As I said, relatively new to cycling, so this is a good start for Isla Tompkinson as she heads around her first half lap complete. This will be the time to beat. She gets the bell, one more lap to go. First lap at 26.326. So Tompkinson down the back straight, half a lap to go now for Isla. Around turn 3 and 4 into the front straight, Isla Tompkinson. She'll stop the clock as she goes across the line, so time to beat a 46.843. So good work there from Isla Tompkinson. Next up on the front straight. Means business tonight by the look of those socks. Georgia Dowling from Hamilton Wheelers. Over in the back straight from the Gold Coast, another up-and-comer. new to track cycling from a triathlon background, I think, is Hannah DeGiorgio from the Gold Coast. So time to beat set by Isla Tompkinson, a 46.843. Georgia just taking the time to clean off the glasses. So G out of the gates well. Hannah DeGiorgio not so bad on the back straight as they chase down Isla Tompkinson with a 46.843. Georgia still out of the saddle. DeGiorgio by a couple of hundredths of a second. So they both get the bell. One more lap to go, so it's DeGiorgio by about 0.8 of a second now. Half a lap to go. DeGiorgio extends her lead. She's got just over a second, maybe close to a second and a half to lead over Georgia. Down the back straight, DeGiorgio stops the clock with a 43.3 and a 45.132 for Dowling. So DeGiorgio with the time to beat now with a 43.3. Georgia Dowling moving into second place. Next up, another one of the young guns on the back straight from the Gold Coast Cycling Club. Aren't they doing a good job down there, developing this squad of young riders? It's Bo Morfitt. She'll be on the back straight. On the front straight, also from the Gold Coast, and an absolute rocket, Winter Bradshaw. So these girls will be chasing down teammate Hannah DeGiorgio. 43.3 the time to beat. Big field for our under 15 women. 7 riders. As both riders are off. A great start there from Winter Bradshaw. She's practiced that a few times. She was out like a firecracker. Already down the back straight. She's got about 20 metres over Bo Morfitt. Bradshaw goes fastest. Morfitt, though, goes second fastest. So she's still on a flyer as Bradshaw gets the bell. 1 lap to go. She's flying with a 22.839. Got about 1.5 seconds over Morfitt. As Morfitt just overcooks that, turns 3 and 4 a little. Bradshaw coming around 3 and 4. She hits the front straight. This will finish off her time. Bradshaw with a terrific 41.759 to take the lead. Bo Morfitt still moving incredibly fast. She moves into third position at the moment with a 43.438. But Bradshaw absolutely setting the mark. Lays down the gauntlet. A 41.759. Up next in our final riders for our under 15 women, they'll be looking to beat that time from Winter Bradshaw. On the Bundaberg Cycling Club on the front straight, Matilda Kemps. On the back straight, another Gold Coast rider, Adele Dixon. Good start out of the gates for both Kemps and Dixon. As they both complete their first half a lap, it'll be Dixon just in front of Kemps, and Dixon goes first fastest. So they're chasing down Winter Bradshaw as Dixon accelerates and maintains her lead. She's still fastest at the moment. Kemps in third. Now Dixon into the front straight, half a lap to go. Kemps really starting to catch now, though. She's not far behind. As Dixon, is she starting to slow down as she pushes towards the line? Dixon just across in front of Kemps, and they both get in front of Winter Bradshaw, just a 41.176. A 41.176 for Dixon, and less than 0.15 of a second behind is Matilda Kemps with a 41.312. .5 of a second separating our top three. Under 15 women's cycling in good hands here at the State Champs in Queensland. Next up, our under 15 boys. And aren't these two young guns showing remarkable talent? On the front straight from Ipswich Cycling Club, Ethan Lee. On the back straight from Balmoral, Felix Henderson. Two incredible young riders. Paddy Richardson, sorry. I always get Paddy and Felix mixed up. Should look at the schedule more often. So it is Paddy Richardson, still super fast young man. Let's see how Ethan and Paddy go. So Paddy out of the gates well, Ethan out of the absolutely flying though. First lap at 25.27, a 23.186 for Richardson. Ethan Lee smashing around down the back straight, half a lap to go now. On the front straight, Paddy Richardson, half a lap to go. This is the time to beat from Ethan Lee. He stops the clock with a 36.959. Paddy stopping the clock with a 42.218. So Ethan Lee, our first rider of the night, sub 40. Good start there from both Urry and Henderson. Our final two riders for our under 15 men. Time to beat from Ethan Lee, a 36.959. It's Henderson just in front of Urry at the moment. Not much between them as they start to really get on top of these gears. Henderson now extends his lead. Our under 15 riders, they're allowed to go up to a 7 metre rollout now as a maximum. So it looks like Henderson just starting to get on top of that now as he has less than half a lap to go. Quarter of a lap to go now. Quarter of a lap for Urry. Time for Henderson, a 41.177. And Seb Urry, a 44.406. So Ethan Lee showing everyone a clean set of heels. He'll take that win fairly comfortably. Moving on to our under 17 women. Out on track from Hamilton Wheelers, we'll have the superfast Hannah Walters. And all the way from Bundaberg on the back straight, Elise Vaughan. Now there is a fundraiser happening for one of the Bundaberg riders, Hannah Parton. They're doing a 12-hour road bike on the track event up at Bundaberg Cycling Club to raise funds for the Parton family. It looks like we'll organise something to go in conjunction as well down here at Nunda in Brisbane. Check out the Facebook page for Bundaberg Cycling Club. Good way to raise funds for Hannah, who had an accident earlier in the year. So out of the gates for Vaughan and for Walters. Walters bit slow off the mark by the look of it. She's now getting on top of her gear, but it's Vaughan by about half a bike length over that first half lap. This will be the time to beat for our under 17 women. Fairly even Stevens for Walters and Vaughan as they head into their last lap. Walters looks like she's just got in front of Vaughan now. There's still nothing in it. There's only the width of a tyre. As they head down, Vaughan with her head down, but it'll be Walters to set the time of 41.254. And Elise Vaughan, a 42.328. So Hannah Walters from Hamilton Wheelers, she set the time for Maddie Douglas Savage and Sienna Golding to beat. We'll have all the presentations for the time trial at the end of the program this evening. So on the back straight, will be Sienna Golding. On the front straight, Maddie Douglas Savage. Time to beat a 41.254. Douglas Savage, it looks like she's practiced that start a million times. As she heads around Adamir's Velodrome, Golding, she's starting to get on top of her gear now, but it's Douglas Savage by about 2 bike lengths over Golding. So Douglas Savage now absolutely flying around turn 3 and 4. Golding now getting on top. But it's Douglas Savage by about 15 metres. She's setting the fastest time. Golding with the second fastest. Half a lap to go now for Douglas Savage. Half a lap for Golding. Still sitting in first and second for their times. Douglas Savage will romp this one in with a 38.381. Sienna Golding from Ipswich coming in with a 40.036. So Douglas Savage flew out of the gates. Moving on to our under-17 men. And first up from the sunny coast, we haven't seen him for a while, Archie Lutz. It would be good to see him back in action. So 30 seconds to go as Lutz gets the legs fired up. He's going to set the time for all of our under-17 men to beat. His 500 metre time trial. Good start out of the gate from Lutz. Looking sharp. We haven't seen Archie for a long time at Adamir's, but he's absolutely flying out of the saddle down the back straight. Still out of the saddle as he heads around turn 3 and 4 into the front straight. 1 lap to go. First lap at 21.136. So Lutz now around turn 1 and 2 down the back straight. This will be the time that everyone's aiming for to beat. So Lutz coming around turn 3 and 4 now, heads into the front straight, comes across the line, stops the clock with a 37.173. So next up on the front straight from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Ollie Urry. On the back straight from the Tas Junior Cycling Foundation, Fletcher Mason. Got a few Tassie riders here tonight as well. I think we've got Sid Natira. He's coming up in Heat 5. So good to see some of the Tassie riders coming up. So Urry and Mason, timer starts, 40 seconds to go. Time to beat a 37.173. Good start out of the gates for both riders. Mason looked like he'd practiced that start a few times as they head around for their first half a lap. Time to beat for Lutz. They go into 1 and 3, so Fletcher Mason, he's on a flyer. He's out there to get the time of Archie Lutz. Hurry now, half a lap to go, 1 lap to go. As Fletcher Mason from Tasmania, he comes through. He's got half a lap to go. He's seen the fastest time. No, he goes second fastest behind Lutz. So head down to the back straight. Fletcher Mason with a 37.34. Ollie Urry with a 39.365. So Archie Lutz maintains his lead, 0.15 of a second quicker than Fletcher Mason. Next out, the boys from Balmoral on the front straight. Henry Velasquez on the back straight. Flynn Jensen. Time to beat still sits with Archie Lutz, a 37.173. Big start there from both Velasquez and Jensen. Jensen, that sprinter start straight up over the bars. Velasquez out of the saddle. Jensen out of the saddle. Jensen maybe just in front. He was. The first half a lap done as they come around to get one more to go. Jensen in front by a bike length. Not much in it, 0.4 of a second. As they head around now, Velasquez still pushing. Half a lap to go for Jensen. He's extended his lead over Velasquez. He's out to 0.8 now as Jensen heads for home. Stops the clock in third place with a 37.406. Velasquez into fourth with a 38.927. So Lutz, our first man out, absolutely flew. He set the time to beat, a 37.173. Remains the same, followed by Fletcher Mason and Flynn Jensen. Next out on the front straight from the Fraser Coast, Bryn McDonald. He'll be up against a local Balmoral boy, Max Edwards, on the back straight. Good start from both boys. Bit shaky maybe from Max Edwards, but he recovers as they both make their way around the first couple of bends. Archie Lutt's the time to beat, but it's Bryn McDonald. He's got this one, but he's still third fastest, so a lot of work to do to catch up to Archie Lutz. Bryn McDonald, now he's gone faster. He set the fastest time for the first lap. Now flying down the back straight, Bryn McDonald. He's got a couple of bike lengths over Max Edwards. McDonald still in the number one spot as he heads into the front straight. This will be the time to beat, a 36.299. Max Edwards with a 37.953. So Bryn McDonald setting the fastest time up, moves Archie Lutz into second for the time being. Next out on the front straight, from the Hobart Wheelers, Sid Natira. We've seen how quick this young man can be. On the back straight, from the University of Queensland, Harley Bradshaw. So the time to beat so far from Bryn McDonald at Fraser Coast, a 36.299. Good start out of the gates for both Natira and Bradshaw. Both still out of the saddle. Natira looks like he's just got the lead just at the moment, but they're still 6th and 7th fastest, so that time by McDonald and Lutz. Very quick. Natira now into 4th, Bradshaw into 8th. 1 lap to go as they start to head around. Can Natira bring it home? He's moved up into 2nd, Bradshaw into 7th. Natira with a lot of work to do. Can he get it? Can he beat Bryn McDonald? Comes across the line. He goes 2nd with a 36.758. Bradshaw with a 38.382. So Sid Natira moves himself into 2nd position. Bryn McDonald had an absolute flyer. Next up on the front straight from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Riley Dixon. On the back straight from the Hamilton Wheelers, Jacob Cork. So time to beat remains with Bryn McDonald, 36.299. Bit wobbly out of the gates for Cork. Dixon off to a good start. Cork recovering. Dixon with an early advantage. He's out of the saddle. He's flying that first half a lap, but he does set the fastest time so far. Riley Dixon, he's on a bender. One lap down, one to go. 23.04 for Dixon, so he's flying. He wants to dominate this 500 metre time trial. Half a lap to go now for Cork. As Dixon comes into the front straight, he'll stop the clock, and the fastest time, a 35.46. And a 37.868 for Jacob Cork. So Dixon, our first one to dip into the 35s. Next out on the back straight from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Oscar Winchester. On the front straight from the University of Queensland, Flynn Larkins. Larkins fires the legs up. Big start out of the gate for Larkins and Winchester as they chase down Riley Dixon with a time of a 35.460. Larkins out of the saddle. Winchester goes second and fourth fastest. They've got Parslow up on the board, but that looks like it's Oscar Winchester to me. Winchester goes fastest so far. Larkins in fourth, so he's got a lot of work to do. Winchester now. Half a lap to go. He's still seeing the fastest time. The young gun from Balmoral, Oscar Winchester, flying down the back straight. He'll stop the clock. Goes fastest with a 35.272. Larkins coming in fifth with a 36.763. So Winchester with the fastest time so far, a 35.272. Next up, a couple of Balmoral riders on the front straight. The super fast Cam Franks up against another young superstar, Ollie Jordan. 35.272 to time to beat. Good start out of the gates for both Jordan and Franks. Time to beat from Winchester, 35.272. Not much between them, but they're a bit slow on that first half a lap. 7th and 9th, they're going to have to wind things up from here. Jordan down the back straight. He goes the 4th fastest. Frank's in 10th. 1 lap to go. Half a lap to go now for Jordan as he gets him still in 4th. Frank's still in 10th. Half a lap, quarter a lap to go. Jordan down the back straight. Stops the clock in 3rd with a 36.109. Frank's with a 37.4. So Winchester, Dixon and Bryn McDonald. Our final riders of the night, our local Bundy hero, Cruz Kemps, he's on the front straight. On the back straight from the Hamilton Wheelers, this will be Aidan Parslow. So time to beat from Winchester, 35.272. That's what the boys will be aiming for. Good start by Kemps. A little bit hesitant from Parzo on the back straight. Kempso wobbling around that back wheel like not something I've seen. First fastest for Cruz Kemps on the first half a lap. Down the front straight. Kemps into second now. So Winchester still holds the lead. 1 lap to go. Half a lap to go now for Kemps. Half a lap for Parzo. Kemps still in second. Kemps into the front straight. What will he stop the clock? A 35.928, moves himself into third. Aidan Parslow with a 37.994. So our top 3 riders all in the 35s. Kemps, Dixon and Winchester. Winchester taking the win on that one. Oscar Winchester impressing everywhere at the moment. He is a one fast rider over a short distance. Can't wait to see him in the sprints on Sunday. Out of the gates for our Women's Masters 7 from the University of Queensland, Julie Barnett. So Julie, our only Masters Women's 7, she's flying though. She comes around, she gets the bell. 1 lap to go. First lap at 22.089. So Julie into the back straight. Half a lap to go now for Barnett. Heads into 3, heads into 4, comes into the front straight. A Women's Masters 7 with a 38.471. Next up, we'll move to our Masters Women 5. A bit of a showdown. The local girl from the University of Queensland, Mel Simon. And all the way from Canberra from the Viking Cycling Club, Jessica Laws. So Jessica Laws will be on the back straight, Mel Simon on the front straight. Bit of a shaky start for both Simon and Laws. But they both get on top of their bikes now as they head around their first couple of turns. It's Laws just in front by half a bike over Mel Simon. This for our Women's Masters 5 Queensland State Championship. So Laws extends her lead. She's out to half a second now. So Mel Simon, a bit of work to do. Laws, though, might be slowing down just a little bit now. It's down to 0.35 as I head into their last part of the lap. Jessica Laws will get the win just by 0.1 of a second with a 40.658. And Mel Simon a 47.65. Mel Simon coming home strong, but Jessica Laws holding on. Moving into our Masters Women 4, from the Coffs Harbour Cycling Club, Laura Lee Moss, and from Kangaroo Point, Kelly Taylor. Oh, bit of a shaky start from both riders. Got Ryder down, Kelly Taylor on the back straight. Laurelie Moss recovers from her shaky start. She'll keep going. So Moss down the back straight. Kelly Taylor just falling out of the gates. So Moss now gets the bell. This is our Women's Masters 4. Laurelie Moss from the Coffs Harbour Cycling Club. I think they're back up on their feet. There's a few track racing nights going on down there at the moment. Mid-February, they've got an event on the Friday night as Moss stops the clock with a 40.091. So next up, we head to our men. On the front straight from the Kangaroo Point Cycling Club, everyone's favourite, Keith Ham. On the back straight from Balmoral Cycling Club, James Meredith. It's our Masters 10 500 metre time trial. So men's Masters 10 out of the blocks. Keith Ham and James Meredith. So it's our men's Masters 10. Keith Ham setting the fastest time for the first lap. Gets the bell. James Meredith, he gets the bell as well. Keith Ham coming to the front straight. His dominant win here by Keith Ham. Comes across the line with a 45.437. And James Meredith across the line in a 49.919. So let's have a restart now for Kelly Taylor. Masters Women 4. Bit of a mishap out of the gate against Laurelie Moss. So she'll set her time now. So here we go. Callie Taylor gets out of the gates well this time. This is our Women's Masters 4. Time to beat here is from Lauralee Moss, a 40.091. Now Callie getting on top. Second fastest so far. So a little bit behind Lauralee. She's got a lot of work to do. She gets the bell. Across the line with a 26.105. 1 lap to go. She's going to have to motor to beat Lauralee Moss. Half a lap to go now. She won't beat Lauralee Moss, but she comes across the line to set the time. She'll go second for the night in the Women's Masters 4 with a 44.329. Next up, for our Men's Masters 8, Jerry O'Connell from the University of Queensland on the front straight. On the back straight for the Men's Masters 9 from the Gold Coast, Stevie Mayman. So good start. Stevie Mayman went a bit early, but he held on to it. So Jerry O'Connell, he'll be our Men's Masters 8. Stevie Mayman, our Men's Masters 9. So racing against the clock in their own categories. Jerry O'Connell off to an absolute flyer. As he heads around, he'll get the bell this time around. Moving down the around turn 1 and 2 now. Half a lap to go for Jerry O'Connell. Stevie Mayman into the front straight. He's got half a lap to go. So Jerry O'Connell, he'll take the win in the Men's Masters 8. And Stevie Mayman for the Men's Masters 9. A 36.510 for Jerry. Next up, our first riders for our Men's Masters 7. 4 riders in this one. From the Bundaberg Cycling Club, Robert McGrath. And from the University of Queensland, Carl Morris. So with our Men's Masters 7 are off and racing. Carl Morris from UQ just got the jump over Robin McGrath from Bundaberg. There's the bell, 1 lap to go for Carl Morris, 1 lap to go now for Rob McGrath. This is for our Men's Masters 7. This will be the time to beat Morrison, the fastest time so far. So Carl Morris into the back straight from the University of Queensland, stops the clock with a 35.9. And a 40.042 for Rob McGrath. Next up, also from UQ, Glenn Searle. He's here in the yellow on the front straight. He'll be up against Graham Ward from Balmoral. Graham Ward might be a no-show, but look at that gate on the back straight, so it'll be all Glenn Searle. As Glenn Searle gets out of the gates, he'll be chasing the time of 35.9 from teammate Carl Morris. So Glenn Searle out of the saddle down the back straight. Absolute flying. Second fastest for the first half a lap. So a bit of work to do now for Glenn Searle. Still second, but not a lot in it. Now he starts to really wind up that big gear, Glenn Searle. Down the back straight. Half a lap to go. He's still in second. Can he bring this back? A 35.90 is the time to beat. Can he come through? Just misses with a 36.205. So Carl Morris doing enough to hold on to that one and the top step for the men's Masters 7. Moving into our Masters men's 6. On the front straight, an absolute gentleman from the University of Queensland, Tim Matthews. On the back straight, all the way from the Mackay Cycling Club, Shane Edwards. Mackay hosting the Road State Champs in July this year. Make sure you check that out. Be a good time to get up to northern Queensland. Good start from Tim Matthews on the front straight. Shane Edwards also off to a cracker on the back straight. This is for our men's Masters 6, so this will be the time set for everyone to beat. John Eder and Jay Doriboom coming up next, but it's Tim Matthews on an absolute flyer as he gets the bell. One more to go. Shane Edwards with one more to go. Matthews continues down the back straight. He's got a good 25 metres over Edwards as he heads around 3 and 4. Tim Matthews into the front straight from UQ. Stops the clock with a 39.514. Shane Edwards with a 41.172. If you're at Anamiers tonight, don't forget to check out the Pedali stand over on the back straight on the concourse. Looks like he's got a few jerseys and other bits and pieces up there. Go and check it out. We love people supporting track cycling, so please go and have a look. So on the front straight from the Ipswich Cycling Club, John Eder. From Lifecycle Cycling Club, on the back straight, Jay Dorraboom. Fresh off an amazing Christmas carnivals down in Victoria. Jay Dorraboom coming home with some impressive wins down there at Bendigo, Castlemaine and Shepparton. If you haven't been, go and check it out. An amazing 3 days down in Victoria. Time to beat 39.514. Rapid fire out of the gates for both Eder and Dorraboom as they chase down Tim Matthews and his 39.514. Eder with his base bars on, Dorraboom got the sprint bars on. Dorraboom, first half a lap going fastest. Nothing in it between them, but it's still Dorraboom by 0.3 of a second with 1 lap to go. Eder now, still chasing it down. They're both in front of Matthews. Dorraboom stops the clock, goes fastest with a 36.178. John Eder with a 36.478, so just 0.3 of a second between them. Next out, we move into our Men's Masters 5. From the Lifecycle Cycling Club and local legend of the River Loop, Scott Hutchison. Pretty lucky we've got Ariel up in the commentary booth with us. Looking pretty fit and healthy. How you feeling, Ariel?
I feel good.
Oh, she feels good. Great to see her up here. You can get the bird's eye view.
Yeah?
Pull up a stool. So Scott Hutchison, next one out. Scott Hutchison out of the gates. This will be the time set for our Men's Masters 5. So Hutchison comes around, 1 lap to go. This will be the marker for the rest of the Men's Masters 5. I'll have to check the program and see if Ollie Hutchison is up a little bit later on in the program. So Scott Hutchison into the front straight. This will be the time. Stops the clock in a 41.749. So next out, on the front straight, University of Queensland, Mr. Chris Weir. On the back straight, from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Glyn Catherall. So out of the gates, bit shaky there for Chris Weir, but he recovers in time. So 500 metre TT, Chris Weir, Glyn Catherall. Glyn looking like he's just got the upper hand at the moment. He has by about 7.5 metres over Chris Weir. So both gents in front of Scott Hutchison at the moment. Glyn Catherall. Chris Weir though, he's going to need to pick things up now. As Glyn comes through, he's only got about 5 metres. What can Chris Weir do on this last half a lap? As they come to the line together, Glyn just gets it by 0.15 of a second over Chris Weir. Glyn Catherall with a 39.157. And Chris Weir with a 39.32. So next out from Logan City, Mark Whitman. From UQ, Andrew Matheson. Oh, shaky start there from Mark Whitman. He recovers well. He went a little bit early, somehow managed back in the block and got off to a start. He's off to a fly. Andrew Matheson, though, we know how quick he can be. 500 metres, half a lap down. Matheson goes fastest. Still faster so far, so they're 1 and 2 at the moment. Mark Whitman with that shaky start. What could have been? Matheson, though, he's flying now. He's got them pedal to the metal. Matheson down the back straight. Stops the clock. He goes first fastest with a 34.813. leagues ahead of everyone else, these two. 35.726 for Whitman. So Matheson taking the win for the Masters Men 5, followed by Whitman and Catherall. Next up, our Men's Masters 4. From the Kangaroo Point Cycling Club, Matty Wynn. He'll be out there to set the time for the others to follow or to try and beat. Matty Wynn out of the gate, good start there. So this will be the time to beat for our Men's Masters 4. So 2 to go as we move to 750 metres for our time trial for our Men's Masters 4. As Matty Wynn comes around, he gets the bell. 41.638 with 1 lap to go on this 750 metre TT. Good to see Corey Boddington at the track tonight. He's wearing the World Champ jersey. So as Matty Wynn comes across the line, time to beat will be a 1 minute flat. So time to beat set by Matty Wynn, 1 minute 0:00:25. Next out from Logan City Cycling Club will be Nicholas Mercier. He'll be on the front straight, on the back straight. Everyone's favourite Balmoral rider, Bo Hanlon. So Mercier and Hanlon both out of the gates well for these Masters Men's 4. Time to beat 1 minute, 0.025. Few riders in this one, 7 riders for our Men's Masters 4, 750 metres. As we complete our first lap, Bo Hanlon just in front of Mercia, and they go first and second fastest. So just over the top of Matty Wynn at the moment. There's nothing between them though. 0.3 of a second between Hanlon and Mercia. So they come round to get the bell. That's 2 laps down, 1 to go. Mercia now moves into the lead just by 0.006 of a second. Hanlon, is he running out of juice? There's still nothing between them. As they come round, they've only got a quarter of a lap to go. Mercia holds on with a 54.810. And Bo Hanlon with a 54.907. So the new time to beat, a 54.810 by Nicholas Mercia. Out on track now to have a crack at that on the back straight. From the University of Queensland, Chris Lang. On the front straight, also from the University of Queensland, and a gentleman, Anthony Lane. So time to beat 54.810 for the 750 metre time trial. So Lane and Lang both out of the gates well. Anthony Lane getting on top of that gear fairly quickly, but they're fairly even Stevens as they go for their first half a lap. It is Lane just in front as they go second and third fastest. So Lane, 1 lap down, nothing in it. Lane goes into 1, Chris Lang into 3, so there's nothing between the top 3 so far. 1.5 laps to go now for both riders. They come around, they'll get the bell this time round into the front straight. It's still Lane just over the top of Lang. Lane goes fastest, Chris Lang goes second fastest. Half a lap as they come down the straight. Lang, he's coming back, there's nothing in it. There's 0.2 of a second as they head down the straight. Final quarter of a lap. Anthony Lane gets the win with a 54.298. Chris Lang just behind him with a 54.592. So they're the top 2 at the moment. 2 more riders to go. On the back straight from the University of Queensland, Mr. Peter Macris. On the front straight from Balmoral Cycling Club, Simon Wallace. They'll both be trying to beat Anthony Lane, 54.298. So Macris and Wallace out of the gates. Macris getting on top of that monster gear it looks like he's got bolted to his bike. As they both complete their half a lap. Macris just in front, but only 5th fastest at the moment. So Anthony Lane with the goods. Now Wallace goes to the lead. He's 5th fastest after the first lap. So did Anthony Lane fade? Can these guys pick up? Wallace goes 4th fastest now. Peter Macris still in 6th. As they get the bell, 1 lap to go. Wallace is fastest now. Macris still in 6th. Wallace, has he got anything left in the tank? Half a lap to go now for Wallace. He's still in the first spot. Wallace comes around 3 and 4 into the front straight. He's got this one sewn up. Simon Wallace with the wind. Macris powering home to take 2nd. He had plenty left in the tank for that last lap. So Wallace goes fastest with a 53. 063, Macris into 2nd with a 54. 113, just pipping Anthony Lane, who goes into 3rd with a 54. 298. Next out, our men's Masters 3 750 metre time trial. Lockie Cameron from the St George Cycling Club and Scott Smith from the University of Queensland. So this will be the time set for our men's Masters 3. Up next will be Adam Clark and Kyle Marwood. Oh, shaky start there from Scott Smith on the back straight. Looks like he's recovered. Came out of the gate early, got held, kept his bike upright. So Lockie Cameron from St George. So still Cameron on the front, so 2 laps to go, setting the fastest time. Scott Smith not far behind. False start there from Scott Smith, so I'm not sure what the comms will do there. But they get the bell. Lockie Cameron well and truly under control on this 750 metre time trial for the men's Masters 3 as he extends his lead over Scott Smith. So Lockie Cameron into the front straight from St George Cycling Club with a 53.216. And Scott Smith with a 55.709. Next out on the front straight from the University of Queensland, Adam Clark. On the back straight from the Mackay Cycling Club, Kyle Marwood. Saw Oakland Marwood in the under 13s earlier on. Had a good ride. So he's just waiting for Kyle Marwood to get into the gates. Adam Clark, cool as a cucumber on the front straight, ready to go. So time to beat Lockie Cameron, 53.216. Okay, out of the gates well for both Marwood and Clark. Time to beat a 53.216. Not much between them, but Clark goes fastest. Kyle Marwood just behind. 3 laps of Enemies Velodrome for this time trial. 0.4 of a second between the two riders. Clark just getting the better of Marwood at the moment. Looks like he's extended his lead just that little bit. So come round to get the bell. Clark gets the bell. He's got about 15 metres over Marwood. 1.2 seconds. So Clark on a bender. What's he got left for this last half a lap? Marwood coming back. There's not much in between the two now. As Clark into the front straight. Marwood into the back straight. Clark just gets there, but goes second fastest. Ran out of juice. So Clark with a 53.920. Marwood into third with a 54.251. Next up, for our time trial, 1,000 metres, we head to for our Para MC1 from the Nerang Mountain Bike Club, and great to see him back at Enemies Velodrome, Kai Sakakibara. So as Kai gets set for his 1,000 metre time trial. So good start out of the gates from Kai Sakakibara. 1,000 metres. Incredible journey back for Kai as he heads around the track. 4 laps of Enemies Velodrome. Round he comes, Kai Sakakibara. Halfway through now for Kai. Stops the clock with a 46.778. 500 metres to go. Incredible difference even from a few months ago. Kai absolutely moving around Anime's Velodrome. As he comes around, he'll get the bell this time round into the front straight. 107.117. 250 metres to go for Sakakibara. Down the back straight. Can see how much energy that's taking him just to keep the bike upright. Into the front straight. Kai comes down, completes his 1,000 metres, a 1:28.533. Next out, we'll have our Para MC3 and MC4. Kai with an amazing 1,000 metres. Next up, wearing that beautiful rainbow jersey and fluoro green you can see from Mars. On the front straight, Mr. Corey Boddington. On the back straight, for the Para MC3 from the Moreton Bay Cycling Club, Kyle Willis. Boddington monsters his way out of the gates. I don't know where he was going. He was heading to the fence. Boddington around 1 and 2. Willis around 3 and 4. Boddington, world champion, wearing the rainbow jersey. Willis with the QAS kit. Boddington, 1 down, 3 to go. Into the time trial bars. Willis into the time trial bars. Boddington now flying down that back straight. Willis, he comes through. 2 laps down for Boddington, 2 to go. 2 laps down for Willis, he's got 2 to go. Boddington can see Willis in his sights. The world champion heading into 3 and 4. Willis into the front straight. Boddington, he'll get 1 to go, 250 metres. He'll get right up on the back of Willis. Kyle Willis, 1 lap to go. Boddington into turns 3 and 4. Just catching up to Kyle Willis down the front straight. Boddington stops the clock with a 1:02.701. Willis with a 1:10.749. Kyle Willis from the Moreton Bay Cycling Club. Good member of the Bell Squad out there as well. You often see him riding around that Moreton Bay region, up and down Mount Mee. Boddington absolutely smashed his way out of that gate. Started heading towards the infield though. I was worried he was going to hit the fence. So next out for AW2 1,000 metre TT, On the back straight, an absolute legend from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Ollie Hutchison. Can't miss him tonight with his green bike and fluo orange helmet. On the front straight, I think a quick tyre change for Keely Ketkovics from the Gold Coast. So Keely back in business. He's coming into the gates on the front straight. 1,000 metre TT for AW2. If you haven't checked it out, have a look at the AusCycling live stream for tonight. Big thanks to all the volunteers, the camera crew, switching. We had an interview with Louise Jones, head of track for AusCycling. Went for about 10 minutes earlier on, had a quick chat about cycling in Queensland and where we're headed. So go and check that out. Ketkovics out of the gate with a shot. He's out. Ollie Hutchison now. He gets on top of his bike. Keely Ketkovics, though, he is on fire as he heads around. Half a lap already done in a 13.3. Hutchison down the front straight with a 17.338. Ketkovics almost on the back of Hutchison. 1 lap down, 3 to go. Ketkovics back straight. Great timing to catch Ollie Hutchison. Round he goes into 3 and 4. 3 laps to go for Ollie. 2 laps now to go for Keely Ketkovics. The monster from the Gold Coast absolutely flying around Anime's Velodrome. So round he comes. 1 lap to go for Ketkovics. 1.5 now to go for Hutchison. Ollie now on top of his gear. He looks more comfortable now. Half a lap for Keely. 1 lap to go for Ollie Hutchison. Keely comes through, stops the clock with a 1:09.009. Hutchison now, quarter of a lap to go. Into the back straight. Hutchison stops the clock with a 1:25.091. Next up, as we get to our business end of this evening, not a lot of matchups left. But we head to our under-19 women 1,000 metre time trial. And from the Hamilton Wheelers Cycling Club, Grace Hunter. So Grace Hunter, this will be the time to beat for their under-19 women for the 1,000 metre TT. As Hunter gets us underway for our under-19 women. Good start, looks solid, stays out of the saddle, around 1 and 2. Settles as she heads into 3 and 4, gets into the bars. Comes around, 3 laps to go, 1 lap down, 3 to go, 23.202. So this will be the marker for all our under-19 women. So 2 laps down, halfway, 2 laps to go for Grace Hunter from the Hamilton Wheelers Cycling Club. Round she comes into the front straight, she'll get the bell. This will be the time to beat. She's on a 58.677. Half a lap now to go for Grace Hunter. Heads around turn 3, into turn 4, into the front straight. So this will be the time for all the under-19s to chase. A 1:17.383. Next up, from the Gold Coast Cycling Club and cheered on by little sister Kenzie, be Maddie Smith on the front straight. On the back straight from the Hobart Wheelers, Lucy Johnson. Good start there from Maddie Smith. More conservative from Lucy Johnston on the back straight. So Maddie well on top at the moment. Johnston with a lot of work to do. So Maddie comes round, completes her first lap. She'll be chasing Grace Hunter's time. She goes fastest for the time being. Lucy Johnston, 3rd fastest. Smith looking very comfortable. Johnston still with a lot of work to do to catch up to Maddie Smith as Maddie comes across. 2 laps to go now. She's got about 30 or 40 metres over Lucy Johnston from Hobart. Lucy Johnston just doesn't look that comfortable on the bike. Maddie Smith though comes around, gets the bell. Still with about 25 or 30 metres. She's still fastest at the 750 metre mark. Has she got anything left for this last 125? She's well on top of Johnston. So Maddie Smith still going fastest. This will be the new time to beat. A 1:16.113. Johnston in the third with a 1:18.138. So with 4 riders to go, it's Maddie Smith from the Gold Coast with a 1:16.113. That's our time to beat. Out on the front straight from the University of Queensland, Indy Plant. On the back straight from the Goulburn Cycling Club, Elsie Apps. Fist bumps or nothing. So great start out of the gate from Plant. Apps, not a bad start from the back straight as both ladies start to get on top. Elsie Apps looks like she might have just got on top of the gear a little bit earlier as she leads by about a bike length. Not as quick as Maddie Smith at this stage, as 1 lap down. Apps still in second, Indy into fourth. As they roll through, 1.5 down for Elsie Apps. Still in second. As she comes around the back straight, 2 laps to go for Elsie Apps. She goes fastest so far. Indy on the front straight, 2 laps to go. She's fourth. So Elsie Apps really starting to hit her strides now, wearing that ARA kit. She'll get the bell as she heads down the back straight. Elsie Apps, 1 lap to go, still fastest at the 750 metre mark. Indy Plant comes through. She's fourth fastest. She's got a lap to go. So Elsie Apps, still fastest with 1:25 to go into the back straight. Elsie Apps, this will be the time to beat. A 1:12.290. And Indy comes across the line in fifth in a 1:19.894. Our final 2 riders for our under 19 women. On the front straight from the Balmoral Cycling Club, April Paddy. On the back straight, also from Balmoral, Bella Potts. So the time to beat, a 1:12.290. Good start there from Paddy on the front straight. Equally good from the back straight for Bella Potts. Watch these 2 young ladies match up a few times over the years. So just in front at the moment, April Paddy second fastest time, so they'll be chasing down Elsie Apps. So after the first lap, it's still Paddy, just by 0.115 of a second by the look of that. As they roll around 1,000 metres, this will be the halfway mark now. And Potts goes to the front. She overtakes Paddy and into the lead for the 1,000 metre TT, trying to beat Elsie Apps. Potts really coming into her own now. Paddy slipping back to third. Potts gets the bell. There it is. Paddy gets the bell as well. So Potts still on the front, still in pole position to beat Elsie Apps as she comes around. Half a lap to go. Potts still in first. Paddy still in third. Potts really pushing out a 1 and 2 down the back straight. Can she beat Elsie Apps? She can with a 1:12.169. And April Paddy coming in third with a 1:14.265. So great ride there from Bella Potts. Next up, we head to our under-19 men. From the Balmoral Cycling Club, it'll be Kale Bunsley. So Kale will be out there setting the benchmark. So Bunsley, not a bad start out of the gates as he starts his campaign for this 1,000 metre time trial. After our under-19s, we'll head into our elite women and men. So not too many races here on night one of the Annameer State Championships for our timed events. So Kale comes through, lap one, not too bad, 22.387. Kale in his first year as an under-19. Comes through now, 37.864 for the first 500 metres, 2 laps to go for Kale Bunsley. So we get the bell this time round. Bunsley with a 53.620. You're more likely to see Kale doing laps up and down Mount Gravatt, close to home. Out here at Annameers tonight with half a lap to go of this 1,000 metre time trial. Bunsley, this will be the time for all the under-19s to beat. He goes through with a 1:10.057. Next out, on the back straight, the smiling assassin, Kata Smalley. On the front straight, Chris Mullins. Both riders from Balmoral. So time to beat 1:10.057. Great start out of the gates. Look at Mullins. He muscles that thing down the front straight into turn 1 and 2. Cater Smalley also out of the gates well. Mullins, a man on a mission. He looks like he's got something to prove tonight. 11 seconds for his first half a lap. Smalley also absolutely flying. Nothing between these two. 0.1 of a second between Smalley and Mullins as they come round. Smalley now, he moves to the front after the first 1.5 laps. Mullins came out like a charging bull. Looks like he's running out of juice as Smalley increases his lead out to 0.6 of a second with 2 laps to go. Smalley still on front, but he looks like he's coming up short. Mullins making a comeback now. Still Smalley just in front with 1 to go. There's nothing in it, 0.5 of a second between Mullins and Smalley, but they've dropped out of first and second place. So Bunsley still with the time, half a lap to go now for Cater Smalley, half a lap for Mullins. Cale Bunsley, he set the benchmark all right. The boys haven't been able to beat it. Smalley into second, Mullins into third. A 1:1:39.10 for Smalley. And a 1:14.914 for Mullins. So Bunsley setting a tremendous time, nearly 4 seconds clear over the 1,000 metres. Next up on the back straight from Balmoral Cycling Club, Will Emilius on the front straight. The young man from Rocky GT, George Tucker. Time to beat 1:10.057 set by Cale Bunsley. Tucker, Emilius, off in search of that 1:10.057 set by Cale Bunsley. Emilius looks like he's got maybe the upper hand at the moment. He does by about 7 or 8 metres, but they're third and fourth fastest. Can they increase the tempo? Emilius on top of Tucker at the moment by 1.5 seconds. Can GT come back? Can Emilius hold this pace? They're still third and fourth, so a lot of work to do. 2 laps to go for Emilius. 2 laps to go for Tucker. They're still third and fourth. Lap and a half to go for Emilius. He goes fastest now. Tucker's still in fourth. So Emilius holding his tempo. 1 to go. He's fastest. 1 to go for Tucker. He's second fastest. Emilius comes around into the front straight. Half a lap to go. Still first. Tucker still second on the back straight. They're chasing down Bunsley. It's a 1:10.057. Emilius gets it with a 1:08.275. Tucker also with a 1:09.30. So heat 4, we've got a scratch, Felix Crossman and Caleb McKenzie. But the new time to beat from the young man in black, Will Emilius, a 108.275. GT, Georgie Tucker, he moves into second with a 109.30. And we only have 2 riders left to beat that mark. The hometown hero on the front straight, Zach Douglas Savage from Balmoral Cycling Club. On the back straight from the Launceston City Cycling Club, Max Woodruff. So time to beat, 108.275. Set by Will Emilius. So ZDS out of the gates well. Max Woodruff looked like he struggled a little bit there. Can he come back? Looks like he's on a monster gear though. He might be able to wind that up. ZDS with about a bike length. Both fairly slow on that first half a lap, 4th and 5th. They maintain that over the first lap. So Douglas Savage still with about a bike length over Woodruff. They're going to have to maintain the rage and really heat things up in this last 2. Douglas Savage into second. He's got about 2 bike lengths over Woodruff at the moment. So Douglas Savage, he goes first. So he's really challenging Emilius now. Woodruff into third. Douglas Savage, 1 to go, still in first. Woodruff in third. He's going to have to move. Douglas Savage, half a lap to go. Still first, half a lap to go for Woodruff. He moves to second in front of Emilius. Douglas Savage across the line, he goes first. Woodruff into second. So Douglas Savage with a 106.269. So great ride there from Douglas Savage. Sedate out of the gates, but he came home with a charge. So ZDS comes through. He'll take the win over Woodruff and Emilius.
Be back in a second.
Onto our elite women. And this is purely for time. By the looks of it, it's only Ella Liang, Morella Willis-Hell, not here. So Liang, out of the gates, really starting to push it. She's only racing herself in this elite women's 1,000 metre time trial here at Anna Meares at the State Championships for 2026. So Liang 1 lap down, a 28.17. Liang comes around, she'll get 2 laps to go this time around. So Liang with a 36.325. 2 laps to go. A lap and a half to go as she heads down the back straight. Into turn 3. Into turn 4, onto the front straight. She'll get the bell. Gets the bell as she crosses the line. 52.739. What time can Ella Liang do here? Half a lap to go for Ella Liang. Big cheers from the crowd. Into 3, out of 3, into 4, into the front straight. She'll stop the clock with a 1:10.807. Moving on to our elite men. Our final 4 races of this evening, our final 4 heats. First up, setting the time to beat. The man from Bundaberg Cycling Club, Mr. Joey Black. So Bundaberg Cycling Club holding a fundraiser for Hannah Parton. I think it's middle of February there, or maybe it's around February sometime. They're doing road bikes for 12 hours around the Bundaberg Velodrome. We're going to try and organise something here at Nunda as well to go at the same time. Get your teams together. It's a $200 entry fee, all to raise funds for the Parton family and for Hannah. Check out the Bundy Cycling Club page on Facebook. So Joey Black out of the gates. This is going to be the time, the benchmark to set for the elite men. So Black with 1 lap down, 23.162 for his first one. He looks like he's really motoring now though. Got a big gear on as he heads down the back straight. Joey Black from Bundaberg, he'll come round halfway done, 2 laps to go. 38.254 at the halfway mark. As Joey Black heads into 3, 4, into the front straight. He'll get the bell, 1 lap to go, 250 metres, 53.916. This will be the time for all of our elites to try and beat. Into the front straight, Joey Black from Bundaberg sets the time and the benchmark a 1:10.740. Are we just going to do Trezos in order of the events tonight? Yep. Thank you. So next up for our elite men, the 2 boys from Balmoral Cycling Club, Tom Waits on the front straight, Cam Tipple on the back straight. So just straight after our elite men, we will have our presentations down on the infield, starting with our under 9s and working all the way through the program up into the elite podium. So after the elite men, please make sure you make your way down to the presentation area. So Tipple and Waits out of the gates. Tipple got a bit sideways there on the back straight, but he recovers well. So time to beat there, chasing Joey Black, a 1:10.740. Tom Waits flying at the moment as they go fastest and second fastest. So Waits goes through, still fastest. Cam Tipple drops back to third. So Waits comes around. He'll get the bell this time round. Cam Tipple in third. Waits still first. Joey Black looks like he's still in second. Half a lap to go now for Tom Waits. In the QAS kit, he's flying. Half a lap for Tipple. Tom Waits with the new fastest time, a 1:06.864. A 1:11.548 for Cam Tipple. So next out, chasing the time of Tom Waits. On the front straight, you can't miss him, from Balmoral Cycling Club, Toby Jones. And on the back straight from the Hobart Wheelers, Jonas Shelverton. Doesn't look like Jonas is here tonight, so this will be Toby against the clock. Chasing that time of Tom Waits, a 1:06.864. So Toby Jones out of the gates. He's going to be chasing Tom Waits, the 1:06.864. So goes fastest for the first half a lap. Going to maintain the rage for 4. Still fastest after the first lap with a 21.416. Jones down the back straight. Looks like he's recovering well from that accident late last year out at Muzz. 2 laps to go and he's still fastest with a 35.956. Jones not moving at all. Super fast as he gets 1 lap to go. Still fastest with a 51.86. This will be the time to beat. Still fastest. Can he come through and beat the time of Tom Waits? Comes across the line with a 1:04.868. So Jones now with the fastest time to beat. And out they come. The big boys, Byron Davies, Sam Gallagher, chasing Toby Jones, a 1:04.868. Can they go sub 1 minute? So Gallagher on the back straight, Davies on the front straight. Out of the gate, Gallagher and Davies. Time to beat, 104.868 from Toby Jones. He's on the podium. Which step will it be? Davies flying. First and second for Davies and Gallagher. They're chasing down Jones. First lap down, still first and second. 19 flat for Davies, 19.799 for Gallagher. Byron Davies absolutely on fire. He's chasing a sub 60 seconds. 2 laps down, 32.30. 2 laps to go. 1.5 to go for Byron Davies. 1.5 to go for Sam Gallagher. He's still in second. Davies, though, still in first. Gets the bell. 46.321. Can he go sub 60? He looks like he's running out of juice down the back straight. He might still do it. He's still in first. Gallagher still in second with a 56. Davies into the front straight. Just goes over the minute mark with a 101.608. Gallagher drops to third with a 105.239. Go ahead. So that's our racing for tonight. We're going to start our presentations. Slight change to the order. We're trying to accommodate the Tasmanians. We're going to present the under-19s first, and then we'll go back to our under-9s all the way up to our elite men. So if you've just won yourself a medal, or if you're a rider and you're still around, make your way over to the presentation area. Support all the athletes. So we will start with our under-19 time trials, and then we will head back to our under-9s and go all the way through to our elite. Byron Davies down the front straight, monstered his way around Anime's Velodrome. So we'll start with our under-19 women. Under-19s, if you're around, can you make your way to the podium area? We'll do our under-19s. Try and make sure our friends from Tassie can make it to the supermarket tonight. Brisbane operating hours. Who would have thought somewhere in Australia would still shut at 9 o'clock? So our under-19 women, if we can have Bella, April and Elsie in that front row of seats maybe. And for the boys, can we have Will Emilius, Zach Douglas Savage and Max Woodruff? All right, for our under-19s, for our boys, our under-19 1,000 metre time trial. In third place from the Balmoral Cycling Club, taking home the bronze, William Emilius. In second place from the Launceston City Cycling Club, Max Woodruff with the silver. And in first place with the gold from Balmoral and hometown hero, Zach Douglas Savage. Our under-19 time trial champion for 2026. Congratulations, Zach, Max and Will. All right, we will head to our under-9 podium. All right, starting with our under-9 girls. In second place, from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Charlotte Urry. So Charlotte Urry with the silver medal for the 500 metre TT for the under-9 girls. In first place and taking home the gold for the under-9 girls, our state champion from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Freya Kamaru. Under-9 boys, if you're around, congratulations Freya and Charlotte. Moving on to our under-9 boys and our state champion for 2026 from the Clarence Valley BMX Club, Roan Stevens. Moving on to our under-11 girls. From the Gold Coast Cycling Club and our new state champion, Emily Dixon. So Emily, our new under-11 girls state champion for 2026. Moving on to our under-11 boys. In third place, but I'm not sure he's there, from Balmoral Cycling Club would be Whitfield. In second place from Bundaberg Cycling Club, Milan Klein. And in first place, Sonny Morfitt. Sorry, it would have been Rowan Fox in third place. My apologies. So our under-11 state champion for the 500 metre TT, under-11 boys, Sonny Morfitt. Moving on to our under-13 girls. Sorry, under-13 boys, my apologies. In third place, from the Hamilton Wheelers Cycling Club, Edson Arthur. In second place, from the Kai Cycling Club, Oakland Marwood. And in first place, from the University of Queensland, our new state champion for under-13 boys, Judd Larkins. Congratulations, Judd, our under-13 state champion for the 500 metre time trial under-13 boys. Now onto our under 13 girls. In second place from the Bundaberg Cycling Club, Imogen Kemps. And our state champion from the Balmoral Cycling Club for the 500 metre TT under 13 girls, Evie Rose Henderson Cunnington. Congratulations, Evie Rose, our new state champion for the under 13 girls. Moving on to our under 15 girls. In third place from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Winter Bradshaw. In second place from the Bundaberg Cycling Club, Matilda Kemps. And our new state champion for our under 15 ladies from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Adele Dixon. Congratulations, Adele, our new state champion for the under 15 girls 500 metre TT. Moving on to our under 15 boys. In third place from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Paddy Richardson. In second place, also from Balmoral, Felix Henderson. And in first place, our new state champion for the under 15 boys 500 metre TT, Mr. Ethan Lee. Congratulations, Ethan, our new under 15 boys champion for the 500 metre TT. Moving on to our under 17 women. In third place from the Hamilton Wheelers Cycling Club, Hannah Walters. In second place from the Ipswich Cycling Club, Sienna Golding. And our new under 17 women state champion for the 500 metre TT, Maddie Douglas Savage. Congratulations, Maddie, our new state champion for the under 17 women's TT. Moving on to our under 17 boys. In third place from the Bundaberg Cycling Club, Cruz Kemps. In second place from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Riley Dixon. And our new state champion for the 500 metre TT for the under 17 men, Oscar Winchester. Congratulations, Oscar, our new state champion for the under 17 men. Moving on to our under 19 females. In third from the Balmoral Cycling Club, April Paddy. In second place, Elsie Apps. And our new state champion for the under 19 time trial, Bella Potts. Congratulations, Bella, our under 19 state champion for 2026 for the time trial. onto our Masters 7. Our winner from the University of Queensland Cycling Club, Julie Barnett. Congratulations, Julie, our new state champion for the Masters Women's 7 500 metre time trial. Moving on to our Masters Women 5. In second place from the University of Queensland, Mel Simon. And taking home the gold from the Viking Cycling Club, Jessica Laws. Congratulations, Jessica, winner of the Masters Women 5 500 TT. Moving on to our Masters Women 4. In second place, from the Kangaroo Point Cycling Club, Kelly Taylor. And in first place from the Coffs Harbour Cycling Club, Laura Lee Moss. Congratulations, Laura Lee, winner of the 500 metre Women's Masters 4 TT. Moving on to our Masters Men 10. In second place from the Balmoral Cycling Club, James Meredith. And in first place, our new state champion from the Kangaroo Point Cycling Club, Keith Ham. Our Masters 10 500 metre TT state champion, Keith Ham. Next up, for our Men's Masters 9, our winner from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Mr. Stevie Mayman. And our Men's Masters 8 from the University of Queensland winner, Jerry O'Connell. Masters 9 and Masters 8. So Stevie Mayman, state champion, Men's Masters 9. Jerry O'Connell, Men's Masters champion, state champion for Men's Masters 8. For our Men's Masters 7, in third place from the Bundaberg Cycling Club, Rob McGrath. In second place from the University of Queensland, Glenn Searle. And our new state champion for the Men's Masters 7 500 TT from the University of Queensland, Carl Morris. Congratulations, Carl, our new state champion for the TT for the Men's Masters 7. Our Men's Masters 6. In third place from the University of Queensland, Tim Matthews. In second place from the Ipswich Cycling Club, John Eder. And our new state champion for the Men's Masters 6 from the Lifestyle Cycling Club, Jay Doraboom. Congratulations, Jay, our state champion for the Men's Masters 6 TT. Masters Men 5, the 500 TT. In third place from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, Glyn Catherall. In second place from Logan City Cycling Club, Mark Whitman. And from the University of Queensland, our new state champion for the Men's Masters 5 state champion, Andrew Matheson. Congratulations, our new state champion for the Men's Masters 5, Andrew Matheson. On to our Masters Men 4, the 750 metre TT. In third place from UQ, Anthony Lane. In second place, also from UQ, Mr. Peter Macris. And our new state champion for the Men's Masters 4 in the TT from Balmoral Cycling Club, Simon Wallace. Congratulations, Simon, our new state champion for the Men's Masters 4 TT. Our Men's Masters 3. In third place from the Mackay Cycling Club, Kyle Marwood. In second place from the University of Queensland, Mr. Adam Clark. And in first place from the St. George Cycling Club, Lockie Cameron. Congratulations, Lockie, winner of the Masters 3 750 TT. Not sure if Kai is still here for the MC1. We'll go straight to our MC3 and MC4. I know Kai's still there. So for our Para MC1 1000 metre TT, state champion from the Nerang Mountain Bike Club, Kai Sasakibara. Sorry boys, late appearance from Kai. Kai Sasakibara, state champion for our Para MC1 1000 metre TT. Well done, Kai, state champion. Now moving on to our Para MC3 and MC4. Winner of the MC3 from the Moreton Bay Cycling Club, Kyle Willis. And taking home the state championship, the world record holder, Corey Boddington. Moving on to our AW2 1000 metre TT. In second place from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Ollie Hutchison. And in first place with a stonking ride from the Gold Coast Cycling Club, our new state champion for the AW2 TT, Kili Kitkovics. Well done, Keely, our new state champion. Moving on to our elite men. In third place, from the Blackburn Cycling Club, Sam Gallagher. In second place, from the Balmoral Cycling Club, Mr. Toby Jones. And our new state champion of the 1,000 metre TT elite men, Mr. Byron Davies. Congratulations, Byron, our new elite men state champion for 2026 in the TT. And our final presentation of the night, our elite women wearing the number one, getting the number one on the top step of the podium, Ella Liang, our new state champion for the elite women. Congratulations, Ella, state champion for the elite women in the 1,000 metre TT. That concludes the presentations for this evening. Tomorrow morning, warm-up starts at 8 a.m, racing at 9. Travel safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.